like a roaring thunder. Baby's got me going under. I ain't ever met somebody like you. And every time you come in closer, I can feel my heart beat faster. 'Cause I ain't ever met somebody like you. Every time you come in closer, I can feel my heart beat faster. 'Cause I ain't ever met somebody like you. Oh. I ain't never met somebody like you.
So we had questions from a few close married couples, and one of the questions goes, does Steve/Eve fit the image of the spouse that you desired growing up? If not, how have you made that adjustment from that image to reality?
It's a very interesting question. Indeed, while we grow up, we come from different backgrounds. And once, as men or as boys, we grow up with our mothers and we turn to be mothers' boys. So the image that you have in you is to have a woman who is close to your mother's treat. So you come in to find your beautiful and fearfully wonderful woman, and you want her to be like your mom, which is not the case. You can't change her, but you simply have to accept her the way she is. And that is the key thing, that it comes into adjustment. I have met her. She may not suit what I had in mind, but I've loved her. My heart has connected with her. So all I have to do, my assignment is to make sure I adjust where I feel she's not comfortable, so that we both can move on the same page.
Wow.
Yes.
It's beautiful and very interesting. Like, you know, when I just remember the list I had, in my mind. I was like, oh, I wish I could get this kind of man, this kind of man. And we all know, and this is the fact, that all the desires that we have when we are growing up sometimes are not the things that we really need as human beings, because God has the best plans for our lives. So I remember when I met my husband, I looked at him, I loved him, but then there are things I was like, oh, I wish maybe this was like this or this was like that. And then it's now that I reconfirm that indeed God is perfect, because what I loved before is not what I really needed.
Yes, that's true.
God gave me what I needed, and He gave me you.
I love that point. Could you stress it? What you love
is not what I needed.
What you needed.
No. God knew what I really needed, and indeed He gave me you. Because if God had given me what I really loved, I don't think I would be happy in my marriage.
Wow. So it's a very interesting point. It really emphasizes that, you know, a good wife or a good husband
comes from the Lord. True.
Whoever finds a wife finds a good thing and receives favor from the Lord. And once you have that word with you, it doesn't matter. But as long as your hearts are connected, God will be with you.
Yeah, because God will never give you what is not good.
Yeah.
What God has given you is what is perfect for you. Yeah. So all you have to do is to work together as a couple to see to it that, you know, you make out something that is beautiful.
And you fulfill God's purpose.
Indeed. For marriage. So let's go to question number 2. Says, if you had to change one thing over the period of your marriage, what would it be and why?
Why?
I think what would change over this period of time is procrastination. We've been having that challenge as a couple.
Yeah.
We keep like postponing and like we are not sure we'll do it today, tomorrow, the other time, and somehow it puts us a bit back. Like we don't do things
you never
timely.
achieve everything on time.
Because
Because you're always saying we'll do it tomorrow, but every day that comes in it's challenge. Yeah.
Over to you, baby.
Yes. Over time, I think one thing that I would love to change during our marriage, I've not truly been engaged in the kitchen. I need to cook for my wife. I need to get engaged so that I get those skills. Another thing that I need to change is I need to come up with a year planner for our expenditures.
Yeah.
Have a saving culture, develop a saving culture in our family. We've been doing it, but we have not reached that level where we say that it is convincing. So we need to have that saving culture.
We just need to do better, right?
We need to do better.
Yeah, true. So, okay, let me read it. Question number 3. I'll give you after 3. How do you handle a non-developmental husband? That was a question from another couple. How do you handle a non-developmental husband?
Wow, this is very nice. Like,
The only challenge I see in the question that okay, non-developmental was not categorized in what concept of you get, like in what sense that this person is not developmental, because sometimes someone may not be reaching out to do certain things, but then they are good. For example, like if we are home and you know how to do farming, and probably I want you to be very active in business, I would be like, my husband is not developmental because I really, really want you in the business. And for you, you're good at farming, that if I had put you on the land, you can cultivate and, do it better. So, okay, how would you handle? Please advise.
That is a very interesting question because non-developmental is the challenge here.
Yes.
So non-developmental in which kind of aspect? But this requires, marriage is for two people. Once you apportion that your partner is non-developmental, then both of you are non-developmental. So, like we say, building foundation and having a good art of communication, when you create time for each other, then you will learn how to help your spouse. We talked about it that my husband is non-developmental, but how many times have you created time to speak to God about your husband?
And to also share as a couple, like, because I shouldn't just have it in my mind that he's not working, he's not doing what I want, but we need to sit as a couple and share these moments and have that kind of dialogue that, honey, I would love us to start up this, I would love us to do this, and then we see what response your husband can give you. So I think that can be a better approach.
In other words, you need to own it. You need to own this challenge. Put that challenge aside.
Not to push it to the other party.
Don't push it to the other party, but own it and find an amicable solution to the challenge that you face as a couple. So that way you can easily sail through. So this requires us as marrieds to be more proactive than reactive.
Yes.
Focus on the strength of your partner
and not the weaknesses. With the weaknesses, we support each other.
Exactly, because we are meant to complement each other in our companionship.
You get?
Thank you.
And not just to break each other. Anyway, that was beautiful. How do we improve intimacy in our relationships?
Wow.
This is an amazing question. I love it. But I would say it's simply create the time for each other. Create the time for your spouse to ensure that you give them the best that they really desire. Because sometimes if we fail to create the time as a couple, we miss out on so many things. Because in creating time, it's the only way I'll know that my husband loves quality time. My husband loves the the acts of service. So that's what I think.
My husband loves touch.
Yeah, you know, and also doing things together. Find out those things that you both like.
Yes.
For example, if you like, let me say, maybe your husband loves soccer. Once in a while,
go spare some time.
Spare some time.
Go watch some Arsenal beat Man. Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting. It happens so many times in our home. But anyway, what we are saying that try to find things that you can do as a couple. If you love moving out or you love traveling, you can do that traveling together. So in doing so, it will help you to build that intimacy.
The
closeness.
Yeah. We want to thank our family and friends for the wonderful questions that you have put for us to respond to. And the other question says, how do you merge finances and conflict? How do you merge finances and not conflict?
Yes. How do we merge finances and we don't conflict? I know that question has come up so many times from a few friends, and they were wondering, you guys work together. By the way, we do work together. We have worked together for 10 years. For actually more than 10 years, even before we had gotten married.
About 12 to 13 years.
To 13 years. So I would say it's basically being comfortable with giving accountability. If you can give accountability, then you can easily merge finances and you do not conflict. That is one. What do you think?
From the word go, when you get married, we all vow and say, I have given you my everything.
Wow.
So when the two become one, including everything, the money is ours.
Yes.
The time the money is mine gets off, money becomes ours. Everything that we have is ours. So in specific, this question is talking about money. Money should be ours. It requires us to be accountable at all times, transparent in everything that we do.
Yes.
When you sit down and engage each other of how you're going to spend your money, it helps, it frees your heart. You spend it knowing that my wife is already aware we planned this expenditure.
Yes.
So most times people want to spend anyhow without being monitored, but that affects you as a couple. And once finances run out of marriage and you begin to have conflicts out of that, then the marriage is on check of failure.
Wow, thank you, baby. That was so good. Yeah, you talked about like from the beginning. I understand it gets better with time. Sometimes when couples have just started their marriage, it's a bit it's not so easy, especially because we all come from different backgrounds, we come from different families. So you realize that where I came from, probably joining things was not easy. And then where you came from, working or doing things together was very easy. So I want to encourage anyone going through that the beginning may not be easy, but trust God and give it time and be patient to see that with time,
you can get there.
You can get there.
Be intentional, be honest, be transparent, have that integrity that whatever you do, your spouse is aware of it. That will help you to persevere and endure the challenges.
Okay, another question for you.
Another question. What challenges have you faced as a couple dealing with finances, and which responsibility does each carry out for the family to move? Wow.
Yeah, just like we said, because we work together and we've managed to merge our finances and we have not been conflicting, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have not experienced some challenges. We have as a couple, and one of it is, of course, as a woman, the things that you would want probably to spend on. You know, women, there is a way we want to spend. impulse buying. Like you say, oh, my friend bought a very nice dress, I also want to buy it. Trust me, there is going to become a challenge. That is going to become a challenge, because I'll tell my husband I need this dress, and my husband will be like, when you look into your wardrobe, do you really need this dress? So somehow it's a challenge, but it has helped us to manage our expenditures and to know that we have to spend when we really have to spend.
Yes. And that's true. We have faced a challenge of timely reconciliation from the bank and to the sales of the shop. That has also been a challenge, but one way of overcoming it, we've opened up joint accounts and we have managed to easily reconcile. Because once you have different accounts, it is not that easy to follow up. But when you have a joint account, it is easy for you to.
Yeah, and another challenge is like coming to a compromise, like to agree on, for example, in situations where we have someone to help, probably that person is from my side or your side. We need to agree as a couple. Do we really need to give out this money or not? So sometimes it can bring a bit of collision, but then we get along.
Settle it.